Welcome to another Game Usagi Opens. So what we have today is this little guy, the Zero controller from 8Bitdo. And if you think 8Bitdo sounds familiar, it's because we've done reviews of their Famicom and NES Bluetooth controllers, both of which we gave pretty much near perfect scores. They're excellent controllers that feel pretty well exactly like the old school controllers that they are a reference to. And yeah, both nail the feel of their inspiration quite well. And so 8Bitdo, they've come quite a ways since just doing the Famicom, the FC30 and NES30 here. They have Super Nintendo ones and Super Famicom one and arcade sticks and stuff, and so what they have now is a teeny tiny version, like quite a bit smaller than, say, an NES controller here, and called the Zero, the smallest controller. And so it's a Bluetooth controller for, well, basically anything you can hook it up to: Mac, Windows, iOS, Android. And yeah, just meant to be a lot more portable, and you can even hang a keychain thing from it and keep it on a set of keys in case you need an emergency Bluetooth controller. So one thing about this dude is that you got really fancy packaging with the NES30 and FC30. Like, they came in the nice boxes. It was almost Apple style, where you had like the little compartments and stuff, and this is just kind of on a plastic card, but it's kind of a smaller, less expensive product, and so not a whole lot to expect from that. Also doesn't have a custom branded USB cord like the other controllers did. But here's this guy, and it's teeny tiny. It's so cute. Oh, does it have a, oh, it has the infamous little plasticky wrap stuff on it that everybody likes peeling off of their electronics. See if I can get this off to keep it nice and shiny. Yay. Okay. So there we go. Ooh, shiny. Okay. So with this guy, you got the L and R buttons. Everything feels very nice. Hopefully it's as responsive as it feels. Usual A, B, X, Y, start. And then the select, if you look, is shaped like Pac-Man, which is kind of cute. It just says 8Bitdo on the back. And that'll be the light that shows you when it's connected and stuff, with its various flashes. And then you plug it in with the micro USB cord that it came with. Starting to think the quilt was a bad idea, because camera likes it more than it likes stuff that's right in front of it. Okay, so we are going to hook this up to a couple of things and see if it's as nice and easy to use as its predecessors. Okay, so for Android, we got this hooked up, and we put it into Android pairing mode, which is you just turn it on using the start button. And gonna try it out with the kind of Zelda clone It'll Do here. Yep, oh, there is a crazy shooty thing here. You're supposed to get him to set fire to this, are you? No. Let's get out of here. There's stuff in the middle. Run, 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 run. Okay. I didn't know I was in the middle of a dungeon. I haven't played this in a little while. Volume. Where are you, volume? And I died. That is how you die in It'll Do. Okay. Do I have any bombs or anything? Yeah, ouch. These stupid guys. If memory serves, there's no way to get those guys either. Anyway, this is working just fine. There's No apparent lag. It's just everything's one-to-one. Whoops. I set a dude on fire. Anyway, yes. Working just fine on Android. So, next, we will try it out with the iPhone. Okay, so what we got for iOS, just using the Nexus as a stand there, is Pix and Love Rush. And so, I don't even remember which is what. Classic. 5 minute. Okay. So, as you can see. And, so what happens is with iOS, you can connect the 8Bitdo controllers primarily as an iCade controller, and so you have to look up online and see which games are compatible with iCade. No, I hit myself. I always forget that you can hit yourself. Ouch. Them's the brakes. But, just like with Android, no lag or anything. All of the buttons are super responsive. Just feels in general like it's working as you would expect a controller to. And you can't always say that for controllers of any kind. So it's pretty good. Yeah. Even though I'm just playing it as a demo, I always get into this game. It's a fun one. Oh, okay. And there you have it. A lot of the buttons do the same thing in this game, but that's just the nature of the game. There's only so many things you can do, basically spit and jump. Okay, so next we'll try hooking this up to a Mac. Okay, so the game that we're testing out on the Mac is Rogue Legacy, one of my very favorite games. And basically how it works on the Mac is that it emulates a keyboard, and each key press is a different key. And so in games like Rogue Legacy, where you can customize the controls, then it works just fine. This is pretty much the only roguelike game that I can manage playing. I don't know if it's the graphics or the collecting or what, but I've always had fun. This is just the start of the game. It's not always sepia toned. Down, down. So if you haven't tried out this game, it's very fun. Okay. But yeah, randomly generated dungeon every time. And, yeah, the controls are responsive enough to play this game, and this game requires a delicate touch a lot of the time. So that's saying something. Can be a hard game to play otherwise. Ouch, 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 ouch. Spikes. Duh. So many spiky things. So yeah, Mac compatibility, very good. On to PC. Okay, so it turns out our little 8Bitdo Zero does have a bit of a problem when it comes to Windows. So, with NES30 and FC30, the best thing to do was to connect a USB cable and use it as a USB controller, but you can't do that with the Zero. And so you can connect it to Windows and it'll show up as a Bluetooth controller, but it's a direct input controller, and so most games that you have won't be able to use it. Only if you, which Game Usagi does not recommend, do emulators or something that can specifically use Bluetooth controllers will you be able to map the buttons. Otherwise, most games won't be able to see your controller. Even if you use a direct input to X input app. So not recommended for Windows because it doesn't have the USB controller mode that the FC30 and NES30 does. But good for wireless with OS X, iOS, and Android. If you're looking for it just specifically for Windows, it'd be best to check out either one of their other controllers or their more premium ones, the NES30 Pro and the FC30 Pro, that have little sticks and stuff yet as well. Those have a lot wider compatibility and firmware updates, which the little dude doesn't get. So yeah, if you want to hook it up as a keychain and use it for your phone or your Mac computer, then it's a good way to go. If you're using it just with Windows and Steam games and stuff, you're gonna have a bad time. So yeah, probably about an 8 out of 10 for the 8Bitdo Zero. Not quite as groundbreaking as its older and newer cousins are in the 8Bitdo line, just because the USB controller and updatable firmware support have been dropped for the smaller form factor. Otherwise, yep, pretty decent. The buttons are all nice and responsive and stuff, which is good. It's a solid controller, not for Windows. So like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Game Usagi Opens.